Hi, and welcome to Enchantment of Eternity's Game of Thrones Season 7 predictions for Bran. This video is a part of a series of videos where I give my predictions on what I think will happen in Season 7 of Game of Thrones, focusing on a different character every week. This video is for my predictions on what I think will happen with Bran Stark in Season 7. So I'm going to have to give a pretty serious spoiler warning, not just for Game of Thrones up to Season 6, but also for production leaks and leaked photos, as well as detailed plot leaks for Season 7. A lot has been revealed about what will happen in Season 7. If you don't want to know any spoilers for Season 7, then I suggest not watching this video. So getting right into Bran, last we saw him, he was heading south and he was near the wall as at the weirwood tree that Jon swore his Night's Watch oaths to. There he had a vision where he learned the truth about Jon Snow's heritage. So after that, I believe he will want to travel south to meet up with Jon to let him know about this. In episode 1, I believe we will see him approach the wall and enter through Castle Black. There he will be greeted by Dolorous Ed. Now, there have been a lot of production leaks that suggest there will be scenes with Bran and Ed at Castle Black, and this isn't at all surprising, seeing how we know Bran was traveling south. There, Ed will be very accommodating to Bran and Mira, and will probably believe all of Bran's warnings, as Ed saw what the White Walkers can do firsthand. Bran might even have some helpful advice for Ed for how best they can prepare for the oncoming White Walker threat. And Ed will of course tell Bran about how Jon is now King of the North, so Bran will want to travel to Winterfell to talk to Jon about rallying the North to fight the White Walkers. So after a day or two of rest, he and Mira will set out to Winterfell, but when Bran arrives, he'll find that Jon has left south on a mission to meet with Daenerys, and ruling in his stead is Sansa, and he would have found Arya there visiting as well, and the three of them will have a happy reunion, and all tell each other of their various journeys. Bran will urge Sansa to trust more in Jon, as he will truly believe he is the one to defeat the White Walkers, and he will also urge Arya to abandon her mission of revenge to stay at Winterfell to help in the upcoming battle with the White Walkers. And when Bran returns, there will be some who suggest that he is the rightful king of the North, as he is the true-born Stark son, but Bran will publicly renounce his claim and support Jon as king in the North, reaffirming his hold. And of course, that is because Bran will know that Jon is the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark, and will believe his Targaryen and Stark blood make him the prince who was promised, the savior who will ultimately defeat the White Walkers, and he will have many visits to the weirwood tree and experience more visions that confirm this, such as he will see Lyanna and Rhaegar were really in love and weren't Lyanna wasn't kidnapped as many believe, and he will see this in flashbacks such as the tourney at Harrenhal, and we might get a few more flashbacks to help explain this backstory. Bran will also have visions of the future and how Daenerys and her dragons will have a role to play in defeating the White Walkers, so he'll know Jon is doing the right thing and seeking an alliance with her. However, the plot leaks talk about how Jon was really named Aegon by Rhaegar and Lyanna, and that Bran will see this in the flashback, and it also talks about a secret wedding between the two that would legitimize Jon, meaning that he isn't a bastard and eligible to be king of all Westeros. I personally think this is nonsense, although I'm not that opposed to the secret wedding idea. I just think it's ultimately pointless because I don't think we're leading to Jon becoming king of Westeros. But the whole thing about his name really being Aegon, well, that's just stupid, and I totally defy the plot leaks on this point, and I hope Dan and Dave don't ruin the show by doing that. Anyway, as far as Mira Reed goes, the plot leaks talk about how she'll just go south to Greywater Watch, where her family is from, and when I first heard this, I thought this was nonsense, as it seems kind of wishy-washy, for after all this time of defending Bran with her life, that she would just be like, okay, see ya, and just take off. But that's because the plot leaks were rather vague and made it sound like she's just abandoning Bran for no good reason. But the more I thought about it, the more I came around to thinking that perhaps she does leave to travel to Greywater Watch, but not just for the hell of it, but because Bran orders her to, because he sends her on the mission to retrieve her father, Hallan Reed, who is the only man living who can confirm Jon's true heritage, as he was there as well as the fact that House Reed has been noticeably absent so far while the Starks reclaim the North, and he believes they will be helpful in the fight against the White Walkers. So I'm actually going to agree with the plot leaks on this, but expand upon it rather than her just leaving for no good reason, which is pretty dumb. But to be clear, I don't think this means we'll see Hallan Reed in present-day form in Season 7. We might get more of him in flashback form in his encounter with the Knight of the Laughing Tree, but we won't see him in present day until Season 8. So once Mera leaves Winterfell, we won't see her until she returns with her father in Season 8. So as I outlined in my prediction video for Jon, he will stop by Winterfell on his way north to capture a White, and Bran will tell him about his true heritage and how he is vital to defeating the White Walkers. Jon will believe him about his heritage, and it will be a huge revelation for him, but he won't believe he is any more special than anyone else and will dismiss his importance despite Bran's urging. But Bran will tell him he needs to gain an alliance with Daenerys at all costs and end the fighting in the south so they can focus on the White Walker threat, and that Jon will agree with. And as I outlined in another video, the White Walkers will circumvent the wall and find a way through, and Bran will want to travel north to be with Tormund, Gendry, Beric, and the Night's Watch that are leading the charge against them, and that is how Bran's Season 7 storyline will end. So that's it for my predictions for Bran. I know this one was rather short, but that's pretty much all I had to say about him. And as always, these are just wild guesses, and I only hope to get at least 40% of these correct. However, before I go, I wanted to make an amendment to my predictions video for Arya. It's not that I learned anything new from production leaks that contradicted a prediction I made. It's more of I just thought about it more and I changed my mind about something. And that is the prediction I made that Arya will meet up with the Brotherhood without banners in the Riverlands that will convince her to travel back up north with her. While I still think that's a possibility, the more I think about it, the more I think that rather than the Brotherhood, it will be Brienne of Tarth that Arya will encounter, who will convince her to return to the Riverlands, to Winterfell with her. I kind of forgot about Brienne, that she ended her Season 6 storyline still in the Riverlands, and although her time frame should put her back in Winterfell by this time, but we all know how fast and loose the show plays things like time frames. So I think it will be Brienne who Arya encounters, and Brienne will know firsthand that Winterfell is safe and that her brother is the king and her sister Sansa is there as well, and Brienne will still feel a sense of duty to protect Arya, but during their journey north together, that's when Brienne will spar with Arya and realize she doesn't need protecting anymore and is dangerous in her own right. But that's just where I'm leaning at the moment. I think either case is possible. So thanks for watching my predictions video. Be sure to check out my channel as I continue my Game of Thrones Season 7 prediction series with a new video every week. Also be sure to check out my channel for many more Game of Thrones videos, as well as many more videos on shows like Star Trek, Vikings, and more. So be sure to subscribe so you can keep up with all of that. And thanks a lot for watching.